Are you an indie podcast or content creator looking to reach a wider audience? Look no further. Introducing Podcastic, the ultimate podcast network designed exclusively for indie creators like you. At Podcastic, we believe in the power of unique voices and fresh perspectives. We're here to amplify your passion and creativity, connecting you with a growing community of engaged listeners who crave original content. Podcastic is more than just a platform. It's a support system built for indie podcasters, offering a range of resources to help you succeed. From tailored promotional campaigns to professional production assistance, we're here to help you shine. Our intuitive platform makes it easy for you to be seen and heard. We do all the heavy lifting for you. You just show up and create. Plus, with our advanced analytics, you'll gain valuable insights into your audience's preferences, allowing you to refine your content and grow your fan base. Ignite your passion, expand your reach, and thrive with podcasting. Visit our website at www.podcasticlife.com to get started. Podcastic, the home for indie podcasts and content creators.
I pray that my love for you is bigger than what my parents have.
So you must be my daughter's new friend?
Candy, let me ask you a question.
Oh, so this him? This the man that comforts you more than me?
Mama, all men ain't like daddy.
That's not fair!
The content you're about to hear is a part of a paid programming segment. The views, opinions, and statements expressed belong solely to the sponsor and do not reflect those of Podcastic or its host. This segment is for informational and promotional purposes only and should not be considered as advice or endorsement. Listener discretion is advised.
Rise and grind, wanna show at 9:15 a.m. Monday through Friday, great conversation, guest appearances, 'cause you experience us on the cusp of blowing up. Wake up, wake up. Rise and grind, morning show.
Welcome to the Rise and Grind Morning Show. Cut my mic up, cut my mic on, cut it
We can
up.
hear you.
Exactly. Why you can't hear yourself?
Or cut my earphones up, please. Thank you. Welcome to the Rise and Grind Morning Show, y'all. And when you get done, Shannon, can you please put an @ symbol under my name? Thank you very much. Thank you, sweetheart. Welcome to the
Do
Rise
I
and
get
Grind
an
Morning
@ symbol
Show. Shut
too?
up. Welcome to the Rise and Grind Morning Show.
She don't even know my ad.
No, don't worry about it. Yeah, text it to her. Welcome to the Rise and Grind Morning Show.
My cash
If
out?
I get interrupted one more motherfucking time,
Wake up, wake up.
wake your ass up. Hey, y'all, we here. And the ignorant one, the rude one, the beautiful one, she goes by the name of the wet one. Her name resembles Matt's water. They call her Super Soaker. They call her the Cream Meister.
Cream monster.
Like y'all here.
Why do you play so much?
Well, I have been having issues with my bladder and everything. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm technically wet or peeing on myself a little bit.
Yeah.
I wasn't supposed to say that out loud, or you gonna diagnose it?
No, I mean,
you look like you're like, So,
y'all
if you smell a little pee, it's me.
Okay.
Damn.
That's what's up. Not
Great
squirt?
introduction, huh?
Not squirt?
Oh, not squirt.
Yeah.
It's been a long, long time.
Hey y'all, and that young man voice that you're hearing is none other than the call-in. The call-in of all call-ins. Mr. Dorian is in the building.
Mr. Dorian, it's so nice to meet you in person.
Yes.
My phone just like gave up, stopped working. Like Dorian's here, I don't want to work.
I told you. I've been knocking internets out. You didn't.
Is that what you call her?
Maybe.
Internet.
Internet.
Okay, that's a good one.
Somebody take her symbols away.
Somebody.
I got symbols.
Somebody, anybody.
It is hot in here.
It is. So I just gotta ask anybody, how y'all feel? Are y'all hearing about what's going on with Deion Sanders and his son?
I seen something about that this morning. Actually, it was the first image that I seen this morning when I tuned into Facebook News. And the person who posted the story commented on how dark and how upset they made the image of this young man look.
Yes.
And without even reading what the article was, I ended up reading the article, but they were pointing attention to whenever we want to see a black man in a negative light, they literally give him a negative light.
Yeah.
And when I guess it's a TV show, he's on the show with his dad or whatever, or he do a podcast, he's an athlete and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody was talking about like how he's always happy, how he's always smiling. Like they don't even know how they caught that picture of him looking so kind of demonic.
Yeah.
You know, the shadowing was dark and everything. You know,
Somebody probably made it up too.
AI could have like make him sad because we can't find a picture of him being sad, and boom.
So there was a picture of him looking demonic.
Not so much. I'm used
dark.
just dark.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, probably was just the lighting.
Yeah.
No, but it was shadowing. And the person is that means
yes, every time.
Not every time. I ain't
so
like how hardly ever is it me.
Okay.
Like no.
I knew to turn my volume down.
You should have. You call in enough. You watch the show.
I'm like this real bad. But this is a podcast at Family Reunion.
And Dorian, we appreciate you calling in.
We do because nobody else called in. Like we don't know who's gonna call in today. You here?
No, for real. What we gonna do?
What we gonna do, guys?
So, but seriously, if let me see if I can pull up the picture. It was just the shadowing and everything that made him look dark.
Yeah, they doing that. I think they doing everything to shine the negative on that man with his with a man who raised his two sons, and they became as their father was. So I think,
maybe he's just not that good.
No, they're excellent players. They're not? I mean, tell me. Maybe they're not.
Listen, if you know anything about football, if you are not just a casual observer of just other than just watching an occasional game on a Sunday, no, that's not bad. You would know that he is not a top first round quarterback. He's just not, talent-wise. And then the fact that he's only played for his father his entire career, which means it wasn't even a humbling thing. You know, you got to look at teams at the fact that, okay, you're signing up for a job. There's only 32 of these positions. You know, it's like a specialized thing. And you have to interview because you don't have your own league. You could stay at college and continue to make money until you just age out. You got 6-year quarterbacks that actually get paid. Okay. Now, with that being said, you want to come over here to the Shield. Now, your talent isn't as what, you know, we've seen your tape. We know your flaws. You have flaws. You play within your system that your father. And by the way, everyone's saying, well, they're attacking Deion. Deion is well loved in the NFL to the point where, he could literally take someone's GM job, someone's coaching job. It's his respect level, and he's a Hall of Famer. Yeah. So let's not get that twisted. Wow. Like, as if this has nothing to do with race.
No, I don't think it's. I mean, most the athletes are black, so if it was a white boy, it would have been racial.
And then there's that whataboutism. First of all, if Manziel, if whoever drafted him would have did it over, they wouldn't have drafted him. And if you notice, who drafted him? The same team that keep drafting these terrible quarterbacks who can't. First of all, the ownership in Cleveland is terrible.
Before you go there, you know, I'm just watching you eat. explain to the audience exactly what we were supposed to hear about Deion's son.
Well, no, I was just talking about the whole thing by them just saying that Shadar is not who we think he is, and like they brought up the fact he only been under Deion's guidance, right? However, there were some coaches one coach from the Broncos, and even a coach from the Raiders that came out and said he's going to be immaculate once he get in the league under the coaching that the NFL has to offer,
right?
Because he's going to be exposed more. Mm-hmm. They said what his father did strategically and was smart was keep him from not getting hurt,
right?
And he did, because Deion, him and Travis, I mean them,
taking the sacks,
right? I mean,
not taking the sacks was smart.
Right.
Everyone looking at that like, well, that's a bad thing. This is why I'm saying working with under his dad can be a detriment, in the sense of we don't know if you can take a hit or do you have the body structure. And he's about to get a lesson. He's got to audition for a job, and I think he's humble.
But
it's not even a big thing.
Was the removing of him from the draft successful, or they just said they should have took him out?
They didn't remove him.
Okay.
He was drafted 5th round because you were really about a 5th round quarterback.
But his other son, Shiloh didn't make the draft, but he went to the pros though.
Yep.
He went to Tampa Bay, but I think that by them going through that, it's a setup to build up for Prime to go to Dallas Cowboys next season, and for them to draft them to the Cowboys, and so it's going to be it's a whole thing about business now too,
and trade him, because by him playing just for third string, it's not costing. Cleveland got 5 quarterbacks. They still own the hook for Deshaun Watson, the freak. Mr. Captain Jackoff.
Where he at, and what's his number?
I don't know. Look, it's probably public notice in Cleveland. They probably
the freak.
What happened to him? He got caught jacking off in public?
No, he tore. Well, he got caught up in Houston. Now, talking about a blackball situation, the owner down there wanted to get rid of him because they didn't want to pay him, and they knew that he had a
problem.
He had a little thing where he liked to go to get happy endings after massages.
I wish they offered that here. So Mika Cooper said good morning. Don said God morning. Calvin said morning, folks. We have Brittany Chanel. Hey, BC. Hey, Yamina said great morning.
LeBron, he's not that good.
You're not going to allow me to read the comment? Like, you're just going to jump on Brittany's head? And she said, we know that, but it's no different than LeBron and his son and what they are doing.
Yeah, well, it is a difference. I'm going to say why it's a difference, because Bronny wasn't ready.
No. They
know he wasn't ready. That was a forced move. And LeBron himself understood, like, damn, he's not ready. And the boy just had a fucking heart attack last year.
Did Carmelo Anthony's son is he playing?
I don't know.
I seen a clip of Lala praising him on the basketball floor. I didn't really know what it was about.
They gave him college or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a question with that, though, when it comes to legacy building and in business, period, right? Mm-hmm. If I am the greatest of all time at what I do, like I'm a photographer, I'm a podcaster, I bring my son with me. Mm-hmm. Like if people want to hire me at some point in time and he's 18, 19 years old and I'm unable to make the job, then I'm going to send my son their way. You know what I mean? Right. I'm going to have him take the pictures, but support him on the background by the editing or whatever I need to do. But it's still going to be under Lake B because that's what people hired for. Mm-hmm. What's any different between that and athletes? I mean, this is Deion Sanders. It's not like they need the money. Well, you know what I mean? Like, so.
Go first, Miles.
Well, he told me to go first. Well, the difference is this. Well, the legacy has to be fulfilled if that's the case. Meaning his sons has to live up to the expectations that he lived up to in the beginning as a rookie. Deion was dope as hell as a rookie. They have the talent, right? But like he said, like even Kobe had to sit out for a year to get that bulk up to be able to get knocked around with the big boys. And I think what Dorian was saying in the beginning was Shador is a hell of an athlete, he don't have the bulkiness yet as a quarterback. His legs, I seen that boy's legs run. I said, yeah, he need to chill. They need to get him a year just training.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love this comment from Brittany. He said, let black men do what white men been doing for years. We know they not as good as they dad. We know that. We also know our bosses ain't as good as they dad was when he turned over the company to them.
In certain cases, Archie Manning was not as good as his son.
I mean, that can be true.
Archie Manning was terrible.
But my question to that, did Archie pave the way for was that Peyton and Eli to play? Like he was able to get his sons.
Well, listen. Originally, what you just said earlier, how you take your son and you're apprenticing him, you're incorporating him into your business. Mm-hmm. You look brilliant. I try to encourage all parents to at least start something on the side. It don't have to be your main thing, how you make your money, but get your child some vocation early. Mm-hmm. Early, like you say, he's 19. Heck, it could be a point where, like you said, you can't go. The business is growing, and let me go over here and make this money, and I done taught you and showed you how to go over here and get this money. Mm-hmm. And so that's different than what we're talking about. It really is nepotism.
When you do with sports.
I don't think it's different.
It's still, listen.
It's physical.
It's physical.
It's no different. What's the difference between that and my son King not ever being on stage, but Willow Smith and Remy Carter can get up there at 8 years old with their parents? You know what I'm saying? Because the path has already been proved. There's a lot of boys that's going to be better than Deion Sanders' sons that we would never see, that would never make it, because they're not the sons of Deion Sanders.
But the difference is between like your situation or the average person, right? When they're looking out, no matter if you're corporate, you can't get your kid a job. Listen, how you got to where you had to audition for a job, right? Now, in your situation, in some people's situation that are entrepreneurs who are providing, like I say, vocation and internship with their children, it's still nepotism because you can hire somebody to do that. But key word is your business. Yeah. So you're in control of how this goes. You understand? Whereas Deion ain't an owner of this small cartel that we faithfully watch a blood sport every Sunday in the fall.
We like it. We
like it, but it's their business.
And so when you got an attitude today.
I don't have an attitude. I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I don't have an attitude at all.
I don't like it.
I'm cool. Lake versus everybody. You can't see that?
It's the red lipstick.
I know it's always red, baby.
Yeah. All right.
So I'm just saying that I just 100% agree with BC. You know what I'm saying? We got to give grace to the ability.
She got a new name. What's up, BC?
That's before Christ. Hallelujah. I'm sorry. She is like, I don't like her no more. Blasphemy. No, but seriously, it's I think we should have the opportunity to do so. And then if you're my homeboy, right? You say you own your own business. Mm-hmm. You got a company of your own, right? Mm-hmm. You the owner. If I'm like, hey, my son can drive, you like, hey, he can drive for me. Yeah. That's all the owners doing with Deion. Like, shit, my son play football. We like you, Deion. Your son can play.
Well, he got a job.
Yeah.
PD got a job. He good. He's in the league. Now, how long he stay, that's up to him.
Which one?
Shador.
I think he's gonna be in there. I think they're gonna really condition him for one. Like I told anybody, I think they just put them two in position to get picked up by the Cowboys.
I think the whole Jerry thing, and they got to work out the whole Dak Prescott thing down there. It's time consuming, but I think Miles is more close to the truth of what's really about to happen, which is Dallas will be making Deion the coach, and Deion's going to take his third string quarterback son with him.
Well, I suggest everybody keep eating their vegetables and exercising, and we'll see how this play out in the next 3 years. I mean, like, seriously, they, like you said, like, literally,
it's not going to be 3 years.
They are fighting for these kids to put their life on the line for this blood sport. And like Calvin said, the owners been putting their kids in the game. They've been bringing them in early. You know what I mean? The owners of the team to sit there and still play chess with these boys' lives. Like, what? I'm not saying what's the big deal, you know what I mean? But at any given time, one of their spinal cords can be broken or legs can be broken, have a heart attack at 18, 19 years old.
I've never been an advocate of playing in those particular sports anyway, because I think I've called this show several times, and I've had it on my own show where I'm like, look, black folks need to stop getting exploited.
Absolutely.
In that particular sport. Yeah. If you had to have a child that like, Dad, I gotta, boy, let's go out here on this baseball field. Ooh, I'm gonna throw some fastballs.
Make more money.
Make more money. Longevity. Guaranteed.
Shit, retire. How old was Cal Ripken Sr. when he retired?
Like 47,
yeah,
48.
Like 48 years old when he retired.
Shoot, what's his name? You said Cal Ripken?
Yeah, Cal Ripken Sr.
Who was the pitcher?
Rollie Fingers.
Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan was almost 50.
Yeah, Nolan
Ryan. He was throwing.
Yeah,
you know, he was ill with it. So, baseball has a longevity. It can be dangerous.
You might have some arthritis.
Oh, you're going to have some arthritis.
But you're going to be able to walk.
Yeah.
So, Kong said, you got to use what you got, who you know, to get what you want. And I think that's a great point why our generation, my generation, Shanny generation, King's generation, who is my son, are all behind because we're not using nepotism enough.
No, we don't.
To get millions. I mean, I just don't have a problem with it. And like Brittany said, all these kids have fathers. You know what I mean? To get them exactly where they need to go. And that I think those things are more important than the I hate to say I don't give a fuck, but I wish King had a dad that played tennis.
Well, now listen. Now here's the thing. I would rather my kid look at Bronny. Like Miles said, the boy had a heart attack. Mm-hmm. You got your mama arms, okay? You ain't got your daddy. You ain't got your daddy heart. You ain't got your daddy arms. You short like your mama. You're good. You're decent. But how about you just run my empire?
There you go.
Because I want to play.
Go play. Go play some rec ball. I will have all my homeboys is NBA players. They can come by the house and play with you all day long. But after that, take a shower, go upstairs, and go make some corporate moves. Because I'd rather him having an MBA instead of you being in the NBA.
But Beyonce kids look just like their daddy, but they up there singing with her, and they ain't cute. They get a chance to get up there, though.
How much talent do they have?
Blue Ivy is talented.
She's going into something, and then she's going to be 7 feet, because I just seen her up on stage the other day towering Beyonce.
Oh, wow. She jumped it up, huh?
She's 13 years old.
Well, she wasn't a dad. He's dad tall.
You're right. I didn't say he wasn't. I'm just saying, and little Rumi.
Like 6'2".
That's not a bad height. I mean, but if a female 6'2",
I will tell you one thing. I bet you one of them will be running the empire from behind.
Sir,
probably
the boy.
Probably the boy.
No, we definitely know one is not. Anyway,
which one is that?
He has a
the one he has. The one that
his real son. His first one.
So we have somebody up here. What we say? Yamina said baseball players are better paid, and their bodies don't get broken down. G-A-Z. I'm sorry.
I would not even. That is a.
I was diagnosed with hypertension at 16. I started taking. I'm not familiar with this medication, and then you're talking about herpes and all that other stuff. That may be helpful for people on here. If people want to read that comment, that was too long for me. But thank you so much for that information. Because and that's another thing. They have created healthy men. Not trying to be funny, but that whole conditioning and training, regardless of where they go with it, you know what I'm saying, being under their dad's thumb, being protected, it's something that he didn't have. So he knows everything that you need to do to make sure that you aren't broken down at 50, 60 years old and can't live a life. Because like I said, they have the money. So Bronny want to play King is horrible. I mean, my son can't do nothing. You know what I mean? But if I got the money and he want to do it, he's gonna do it. Because I remember he's 13, so he'll get better. Yeah. But I remember being 13 and being good at a lot of stuff and didn't have the financial ability to do anything. And I think that's the one thing every parent wants to give their children.
What you was good at 13?
Speaking.
Oh, okay.
Talking shit. I was smart. Math, science. I was the president of my class. I was 13. I was in the 9th grade. I also lost my virginity, so I was good at doing it too. I could retire by now. It's been 35 years. It's about time to stop.
Is it? I've heard. I don't know how true this is.
Don't analyze my coochie.
No, I'm not saying.
I just on the question like.
I was about to say, shit.
Go ahead, Dorian.
No, I don't know.
I mean, look. What time is it this morning? Look,
go
this
ahead,
could be
Dorian.
9 p.m. I can go there now. But look, what I was going to say is, I hear that young ladies, once they get about the age of 12 and they start liking boys like math and science, y'all be masters at it early on, and then by the time y'all hit puberty or something, it's just done. It's a wrap. Y'all are terrible at numbers, math. It's like the digmatized thing pops off early, but it's almost like pre-menopause. It's ridiculous.
I can see how that could be a theory.
Because there's not a lot of females in STEM.
Well, and you know why? And I've always said that boys are naturally smarter than girls. You know what I mean?
Logical.
And maybe it's the logical part, because you don't have to be smart to finish your education.
No.
You just have to be determined, everything that you need to read, you know what I mean? But you don't have to work the system.
Basically. Yeah.
And that is something that women aren't good at, especially, not trying to be funny, when they're not trained by a father. You know, that some skills a girl can have when she's young and was trained by a father, but she's probably also not as promiscuous or trying to be boy crazy. You know what I mean? During that time, because she's also seeking that attention that most girls don't have when they're 11, 12, 13 years old. And that's speaking for myself as well. You know, from my experience, I don't know about anybody else, but I would say that was my experience. But on the same part, my mama told me at 5 years old that I had to go to college. So every year, all I knew was I had to go to college. I didn't find out until my senior year that you didn't have to go to college. But by that time, I had already been accepted to everyone. It was just a matter of having money and where we were going to go. So boys never stopped my education. You know what I'm saying? I did have to try hard. Now, I'm telling you, when I was 19, maybe boys did, because when I was 19, I flunked. I had a 0.9. Like, by the time...
Maybe a 5-7 year delay.
No, because I got to college at 17 and I couldn't do anything. So all I could do was study. And then I turned 18, so everybody was able to... Like, everybody was locking down. So by the time I was 19, my sophomore year, ooh, baby.
Turn it loose.
Turn it loose. So are you saying the topic? Is that what you...
No, but don't worry about what I'm doing.
Oh, because we can see you.
No, you can't see me, you can hear me. You know, speaking of topics, let's go to the topic of the day, please. Topic of the day is: can a guy in a relationship control the side chick?
Can we change that to the male or female in a relationship control the side person?
Oh, I don't know. You need to talk to our producer.
I love you too.
Producer.
I'm just saying, because I have opinions on both sides.
Oh, really?
Oh, you been both before?
Yeah.
Okay.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, you are now.
No.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I always believe Miles is somebody's side piece. You talk about your penis too much. You be throwing it out there like, I'm going to catch a fish today. Married or not married. I got that thing.
Don't do your arm like that.
Did it jiggle? Did you do that?
It was on camera.
Cook. That means you can cook.
You know, you just look like Oprah.
No, I don't. Use a line of MF and half.
You get an Oprah arm.
Ain't no chicken wings right here. This is not a wing.
No, that ain't how I look. You was doing like this. Go side. See, look at this. Go
That
ahead.
ain't a wing, wing though.
Okay.
That ain't a wing. That's muscle.
That's
just a soft landing when your tits fall back on your arms when you're on your back.
My titties don't fall on my arm when I'm laying on my back. You don't know me. Where y'all get this from? Speaking for myself. Okay, so can a man or woman control the side person in a relationship? Dorian, you're in a relationship, right?
Yeah, but
can your side person control your relationship?
I don't have a side person.
Good. That was a good setup.
Yeah, I don't have a side person.
He did not fall for it.
No. I'm listening. I'm here.
So what do you think?
What do I think? Yeah, you can control. I mean, it depends on the person, the situation, how insecure this other person, the side person is. You know, how we gonna work it out?
Bro, everything. Okay. So, what I will say is this: we shall continue, Sandy. Okay. So, what I will say is this: the outside person do have the ability to control the relationship. If that person is just done. Mm-hmm. If I'm with a woman and I got a side piece, she has the ability. If I'm willing to say the hell with my significant other is about, yeah, she can control that. She can be like, we going out tonight. Yeah, she.
I didn't take the question as that. I took it as, can you control me if I'm your side piece while you in your relationship? Because you the cheater.
I took it the opposite way.
So I've had several situations where I've been called by a man's wife.
Okay. Well, right.
Maybe a couple.
Okay.
And I remember the last time I got a call now, and she was livid. Mm-hmm. As she should be, you know what I mean? But like, I had to tell her, I'm not the cheater, your husband is. Mm-hmm. Your anger and everything is directed at the wrong person, and you just picked up my phone and called me.
You mean she picked up her phone?
She picked up her phone and called me or whatever. You know, so y'all know what I meant. And he was upset with me because I admitted about the relationship. And what I told him was, when you decide to have a side piece, period, it is your job as the main person to protect that side person. Mm-hmm. Like, don't put me in a situation where somebody can get at me that I can't get to.
Right.
You know, so once she picked up her phone and she was able to contact me, then I'm in this alone. I'm the only person that's going to defend me and protect me. Right. You know what I mean? So you need to know exactly what's going on, and I'm here to tell you. Mm-hmm. You ain't got no control over what that person is doing. You know what I mean? And I've always been honest with somebody who claimed to be in a relationship and wanted to do something outside of their relationship. I am not the person that's going to keep your secrets. You shouldn't have committed. You shouldn't have committed yourself. And men, most of the time, will still run after a female after she says that.
Well, okay. Well, that's your perspective.
Shit, it's my truth.
Your truth. I say, and from my experience, being, I guess you could say both. Like you say, I've been the one that been like, look, take this man a burger, right? Mm-hmm. Here you go, an ounce. You know, I like to smoke. Mm-hmm. Right. I'm a polite side guy. I don't care if I had to. I've been. Look, I'm gonna help you keep your relationship. Like, stay with that nigga. Yeah. I don't want your baggage. It whatever, because really it's about, you know, in that situation we just cool hanging out and talk some shit all day. You know, like they say, somebody you can pick up a phone, or maybe every now and then, you know, you bump into them and get a little throat, whatever.
A little what?
A little throat, you know. But for the most part, I feel like, yeah, the person that's in a relationship, yeah, you really controlling it. Because, yeah, the only, like in that scenario, like you was just describing, you saw the chink in his armor. You ain't got your bitch in check? your main bitch should know what you are. That should be one of her attractions to you, that someone else wants you. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Who wants somebody
who don't
that
want
nobody else wants?
Me. Because I'm tired of worrying about it.
Well, see, listen, that's insecurity.
You call it what you want to.
It's insecurity.
Yeah, whatever.
Because the world is free. And what, a document or you sign a sacred pact of blood? And you making a blood oath like you're in the mob or something? No. You free to do whatever you like. Even in the world of laws and rules and everything. Right? It's your body. Listen, no one, slavery, 14th Amendment, I can't say, all right, my wife can't go out here and do whatever she wants with her body. I can't keep her captive. If I did that, that's still kidnapping, right?
I have a question. Would you forgive your wife for cheating on you or having a relationship outside of your relationship?
I don't care.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to tell you why I don't care.
Okay.
Because, like I said before, I don't want to be with nobody. Well, no one should want to be with anybody that somebody else don't want her. And listen, and if you can crack that nut, you can lay all dick all up you want to, but you can't get it all. It don't matter. She's still gonna bring that bread back to me. She's still gonna be loyal to me. It doesn't matter even if she go coast out here. Go ahead, coast. Do your thing. Just be safe. And like I was saying the other day, it's pay styles. Make sure that nigga pay a car note. I got a couple $100. Like, baby, I just got a couple. Who gave it? I ain't gonna ask for the look. Who asked where the money come from?
I would love for somebody to call in, especially a woman, because I think to the point of using guy and side chick, more guys are open and have had side women opposed to women doing the opposite, because it gives me a headache. Too many.
No, actually, I believe more women have side pieces than men do.
I just said I don't.
No, I said I do.
I mean, but you're not a girl.
You got a friend. You got friends.
How about this? I know I've been the side piece many a day.
I told you.
So listen what I'm trying to.
When I say it, you say it ain't
right. But that's not now. But I've been the side piece many a days, and I know. Listen, women are worse than men when it comes to things like that. Yep. However, men is just more stupid about it.
Okay.
Sloppy.
Yeah, sloppy as hell.
We don't pay attention to details.
Like allowing your girl to get your other girl's number.
That'd be it.
Like, I seen a video recently where the side chick pulled up at the wife's home. And that would be, I would never disrespect. Like, I feel like that's a violation.
First of all, that's how people get killed. And that's how people get killed.
Seriously.
Yeah, I thought, because they had like a young adult daughter who ran out the house behind her mama. You know what I mean? But I was looking at the neighborhood in the house, and these was black people, and she had a nice ass house. But old girl, like, I want all the gifts back that I gave your husband. And she's like, if you don't get the fuck off my property, like.
But that's after he died.
Did he die?
Yeah, he was dead. And she said, I just come to get back all the gifts I gave him. She said it in there. She said,
I didn't see that part.
And towards the end, she's like, you come. She said, you stinky bitch, you come here after my husband died, asked him for shit that you gave him, and you was fucking around with him.
The one I seen, she was like, you call Arthur.
Why are you such an Indian girl?
Like, no, that's right.
Lousy cunt. What the fuck? Go run play in traffic. What is wrong with you? How dare you come? It's a gift. Uncle Sam won't even tax you for a gift. Jesus Christ.
But that's what she was saying in there. But you're right, because her daughter did come out right behind her.
Well, I didn't hear the death part. You know, I heard her say, you take that up with Arthur and get the fuck off my property. Like,
yeah, but that's what she said. She's pointed up.
Go up to heaven.
Exactly.
To heaven, go holler at that nigga. Right. Or hell,
but even with that being said, like, you mad that you didn't make it into the obituary as somebody's special friend and you had to sit in the back.
That's what I'm talking about. It's ego, insecurity, all the whole mess of trying to side chick. Okay, what is side dude? Okay, just say you just want some dick outside or you want some cooch outside because that's just what you want.
What, Stanley?
It's It's a craving.
I don't know, because sometimes that actually turns into more than that.
Of course,
So it
because
can't
people, it's
just-
all about self-control too. It's like, come on.
You
I
didn't
mean,
have any when you entered into it. That's where it left there.
You're human though.
I get it, but it left when you started.
So Rhea said if a person start dating someone they know is in a relationship, they automatically sign up to keep it cute and mute.
There you
That's
go.
it.
Now,
That's
if he
what I
lies
said.
and she believes she's the only one, the woman calls, then all bets are off. See, my thing is, I agree to that up until when she calls. I did not call her.
Yeah.
I didn't not stir up anything. Like, he was tacky.
Probably had no intention to.
No intentions. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But I have.
Because this
a
is you and him, not you and her.
Right. And you take it up with your person.
Lock
This
your
is-
phone up, nigga.
but
Lock your phone. It's just real
or
simple
your
shit.
computer or whatever the hell.
And
you do.
listen.
But it's further beyond that.
No.
Y'all change up your whole routine. It's further beyond just the phone or the watch or whatever the case may be. It's your routines change. That's how people know.
Not
True
really.
that, but
well,
but
he
look,
said true. I don't agree.
to the uninitiated, the people who are sloppy, don't know things, that think they could just get away with
Yeah.
stuff. It's not like that. You have to watch how you moving.
And sometimes-
How you moving.
But the one thing I noticed with guys, like some of the guys I've had situationships with will talk to me while they were at work because I knew that they were in something.
Right.
When your guy, and I'm speaking for myself, like if I'm in a relationship and now my guy stopped talking to me while he's at work.
Yeah, there's something wrong.
Who
That's
is he
something
talking to?
Yeah.
Like you ain't
Now I gotta move you
all of a
forward.
sudden you taking care of business and now you
Yeah.
gotta call the courts and all this extra shit. You know what I'm saying? You got all that to do now at work. But you didn't have
But
all
prior
that to
to,
do 2 months ago.
that's the
Phone bone
that's
2 hours with me at the job. I can hear. I know who you're talking to.
That's the routine. That's the routine that's being broke right there. Because now she's like,
So-
who you talking to?
But see, if you talking about that, I understand that.
But no,
Because-
it's that, and then further beyond that, the routine just be off. Now you coming in later.
Well-
like
call
they
me
said,
at night.
now you not answering the phone. Now you doing this. Now you doing that. Now it's good night at 9 o'clock.
Well,
it's
see,
like
I had somebody accusing me of that, but they didn't realize that at this particular time in my life, my business was elevating, right? So no, I couldn't just leave the office
it's
at
harder
10.
for entrepreneurs.
I couldn't
That's how I'm
leave.
gonna clock that.
Right, I'm not. You can't really.
Okay.
You can't clock that till you turn into cocoa. But what I'm trying to say is, I changed so much because I had to. So I had to be at. Well, you normally leave at 7:30. I said I'm leaving at 6 today because I'd rather get this stuff done early because I got a client picking up this stuff at 10. They're like, so why? I said because if I leave at my normal time, I won't be able to have my proofread.
I have a question for you, Cal. Too.
So things change. Go ahead.
You have a question
For Cal.
Where's the question?
I have a question. So my question
Bobby,
for
I have a
Cal is,
question.
he said that he wouldn't be one willingly, so you would be okay with being one if you didn't know.
Yeah.
Because some people feel like, hey, if it's gonna happen, I'd rather know.
Right.
But you said you won't willingly be, so you will.
So he
know.
won't willingly be a side piece. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, he said he wouldn't willingly be.
You'd
but
be
that's
surprised.
the thing. Just even if you don't want to be participate, you might be.
You know what? I'm with Calvin.
he's
I
a good
would
man.
never willingly
Be one.
unless he only gives me head. And that's the only send me flowers, give me head, and send me lunch money.
Yeah.
We'll have nothing to talk about.
Because
You'll
sometimes
no
you have to have an
responsibility to me.
agreement.
First of all, let me explain something.
I sure
to you,
miss
like,
him.
He did.
And no, but I don't need a side piece
Oh my
right now.
God, yes, we don't need that.
I don't believe in cheating.
Yeah.
But you accept the cheating of another man with you.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense.
How
you
don't it
make
though?
no sense.
Because here's the thing, that's just her saying that cheating is not the end all be all for her.
That's not why I'm saying that. I'm saying this: if you are a person who's participating in the act of,
She says she's not.
no, you did. She did. She said she'll cheat with a nigga. That's what she said.
As long as she getting her, as long as she getting some face and
No,
some
okay, take
flowers
the face
and
flowers and food money out of it.
Lunch money.
I believe that I am single.
do what the fuck you like.
I do what the fuck I like.
There you go.
When I decide to commit myself to somebody, I didn't have to commit myself to somebody and go out and get side pieces and stuff. That's all I mean. Like I'm loyal to my word. Like it was no need for me to give my word. And I think I've told people, you're a shitty person for chasing me. You know what I mean? Like, what if your wife found out on Valentine's Day you sent me $100 worth of roses? Like, if I was your girl or your wife, that would be so hurtful because women care about your money. And all a man knows who's cheating on a woman, that he has to spend money on that side chick. So just like men be concerned, some men, not you, about women giving up the coochie or whatever.
How terrible I am. Believe me, I got a story.
A lot of men care about women giving their private away to other men. That's their money. That's the equivalent to a man's money. But men know for sure you got to give time and attention for you to be cheating. Out there cheating, where women, we don't even have to give a guy time and attention. We can treat a guy like a dog. Actually, they will pay us for treating them like a dog.
No,
they will. Trust me, some of them like it.
I mean, that's
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, man.
How are you, Cal?
Say, man.
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Hi.
What's going on, Gal?
She asked you a question.
Look. Good morning.
Yeah, I was trying to get some clarity to my comment. No, I was saying the problem being
you gonna drop
it
off
could be
breakfast
anything
one
somebody
morning,
could say. Huh?
I said you're gonna drop off breakfast one morning because you'll be smashed.
Oh yeah, for sure, it's coming.
I'm like, is he chilling?
It's coming. But the thing being, anybody could tell anybody anything. Anybody could say, I could tell Lake, hey, I'm getting a divorce, and I want to, be this and that and that. But then my old lady can be up the street, with a thing in her hand, ready to take Lake out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why I said willingly, because you never know what the case is. Somebody could say, oh yeah, I want it to be this situation, but it's really that though.
Yeah.
So you got to take it. You got to always approach them type of situations with a, with full lenses on. You can't go in there blind like that.
I totally agree with that. And people will,
because it could be could be on first 48 or something.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is, a person, you supposed to commit yourself to your best friend or your partner, right? And that's the one person that doesn't know that they're being clowned in these streets or being cheated on. So when they do blank out, you know what I mean? Like, I'm telling her the truth. Like, he came after me. Like, you go after him. I'm gonna give you all the ammunition you need to go after the corporate.
Then just even participating in it. It could be now it's like, hey, guess what I just did? I just caused she could just flash out that day, and then guess what? Now I'm involved.
But
that's true.
Or he could just flash out that day, and then guess what? Now I'm gone, or he gone. Somebody gone as a result.
So what I'm asking is this though: where's the responsibility or accountability of the women who say, yeah, check him. However, you don't see what type of shitty dude you fucking with.
That's my question as well.
You don't see what type of person you dealing. A person who lets his woman finds out that he's having a relationship with you, and knowing him, it's like you fall in love with Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, right? So when the backlash come back on you, for the female, where's the accountability on her end on the fucking first red flag?
I'll tell you this: the first two times two times it happened to me, once their woman called me, I was out. I never talked to that man again. It wasn't necessary because I didn't feel protected. I felt like I was out here on the street until everybody else. The crash out is getting worse and worse. So we're talking about 20 years ago. So I wasn't quite.
I was going to say differently now. This younger generation, these crashing out. These young girls. I am you don't do what we were doing. No, sir.
It's a different ballgame.
Emotionally unstable. I don't know what kind of narcotics y'all are on.
All of them.
All of them. I don't know what you're huffing. I don't know if your mama wanted to smoke weed with you. There was some super kush and it got you thinking something else. I don't know. So no, don't do what we was. Listen, these are what we call old tales. Because I'm a certain age.
Yes.
I have I slept with married women? Yes. Have I been in relationships and just went out here and
I don't even know why they call it sleeping, because that's the last thing.
That's the last thing we was doing. Now look, and if I did fall asleep, it was a huge mistake, and I got up boogieing about the dope. Like,
no. For me, check out us at 11. Lay down.
And I can tell by the anger that a woman had on the other phone, like this is not something that I want to continue on. Now, I done gassed the like sometimes I like it. It used to be really bad. It used to be really bad when I was in my 20s. Like, you talking to me like, hell, fuck yeah, come over here at 117-893 Hoover.
Wow.
That's where I'm at. Come find me.
Okay.
I'm sitting on my porch. But then now, that was 20 years ago.
Right.
I'm not that person anymore. I don't even want the possibility of somebody's woman calling me. I don't. It's not an option for me anymore.
Knock your phones up. What is?
You don't think that people don't be knowing people's passwords? Y'all be around this person very frequently. All you gotta do is pay
change it
attention.
up. I don't do share locations.
No, because now why you changing your password?
First of all,
so you changing up your routine.
Here's the thing. If you not making or paying for this phone,
we on the same plan.
Don't touch it. Sorry to hear that.
So y'all not on the same plan?
No.
Dorian, why? It's a family plan. This wild work to me. I never heard of a married couple not being on the same phone plan.
First of all,
I had my phone before.
There's a lot of things. I feel like there's a lot of things in life that y'all should not share.
So you're not sharing location?
I'm not sharing location. I'm not sharing my phone bill. I'm not sharing a bank account.
That's wild work. Now I feel like you should have your own separate, but I feel like you should have a joint one together.
No. Listen to it.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to tell you. I have watched hundreds of years of marriages. I know how they work, how they don't work. What's good for you is to give 80%. That's it.
Okay.
Say that other 20% for yourself.
Right.
Okay.
Because when you give 100,
you feel like you start to resent.
110.
That's true.
Listen, and then guess what? You poured all yourself into this one person. They can't cheat. They can't do this. You are free with me. You do whatever the hell you like. But remember, listen, I ain't gonna.
Do you want to know?
I ain't gonna never change the locks. You can always come back in. You just better know how to come in correct. That's the same with me. I couldn't. If I'm doing some dirt out in the street, you thought I was coming home empty-handed?
Right.
No, that's not how.
So you feel like you bringing this back to the house? So you good?
And it's all about respect. It's all about respect, and then you have to have your individual, because that's that 20%.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you giving I see so many people that wearing the same outfits, doing. Look, listen. And see, when it don't work out the way you don't want it to work, black folk, we get into our attitudes and whatever. It would be a spark of. Then you gonna go stomping away, and you giving your all. Don't give your all. That's the real secret. You say 20% for yourself.
I get what you're saying, and I agree with that. But why would you not go into something wanting to give it
and trust
like your all,
and trust is something
your
has
best foot forward?
But trust has to be earned, and I trust you to not fuck up.
Well, yeah, but you gotta trust the person to a certain extent to agree that y'all want to take it to a relationship.
I'll tell you one thing that I learned, and I didn't know people could still do this. You can check if somebody's on your phone line. You can still get their phone records.
You can.
I didn't know.
Oh,
I'm like, so this what we doing now? We getting people phone records?
Oh yeah. You want that call a little too long? It's a thing. It's a thing. Because they put the minutes next to the number.
But why
and the date.
Are you printing that?
Not
shit
that I know.
But
this.
why do you even care? If my wife, first of all. I have relationships with my clients as far as we have a business, but we good, right? Okay. There's only one woman that my wealthiest client want to meet, and there's one woman that my wife want to meet. and I'll never let her meet. Why? Because you're gonna mess up business. 2,
but you told her.
Listen, the only woman she would ever call in fear or would ever be somewhat insecure about is her.
And that's why you would not let them
Because guess what? Me doing business with her pays her for a whole lot, and she know it. And she like, oh, what kind of relationship?
So because
she tell you all her personal business.
So because you brought it as like a transaction and not just solely a benefit for you, she's able to see it from a different dynamic.
See it from a different skin. Your insecurities.
Yamina said you better not come home with a wet penis and no chicken.
Okay,
damn right,
she
damn
said
right,
okay.
Right. Yeah, don't come up in there and listen. Don't come in with no empty purse and no wet cooch.
Yeah, and I agree with Yamina. I would share locations with my dude.
That's why I said
I don't see there's nothing wrong with that.
There was a time when I was dealing with a young lady who was married and she had regrets about who she married. And I'm like, listen, because all the women that I've ever dealt with, it was a lot of love, right?
For their spouse or person.
No. For them, for me.
Okay.
So that's why, listen, none of those were ever there. And they were, and how I got to where I'm at now, they were like, wow, you did that? And I respect her. Look, they want to keep the conversation short because it's almost like, what the hell did she do?
Exactly, to make
you do this?
Right.
But I love you.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I said before.
Yeah.
So what I've been able to do in certain situations, like I said, one particular person, she was in marriage that she had some regrets, but she loved the man, but
Right.
And I had to more or less got to keep her straight, which was she wanted to be with me. And I'm like, well, we already, that ship done sailed because of this, and this, and then some other stuff. And so it's like, no, I could be your friend, but you want to come play with me all the time? All right. But I feel sorry for dude because I know he's insecure.
And
listen, your lady is stronger than you.
And that's one of the issues that I have, like playing in people's face. You know, like you don't have a right to have somebody fall in love with you and commit to you and then you switch up on them or you bring somebody else
and have a kid with this person, been married with them and for a while.
And I do believe, kind of like what Shan is saying, your routine switch up, but sometimes your person switch up when you spend too much time with somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoy, like you said, she enjoyed you. So she got an attitude when you don't want to F with her.
Oh, it was a lot of that. And what ended up occurring was, I'm like, every time that you want to go play with me, look, that boy was eating steak. This nigga had bud. Look, I seen your wife home with a smile. Don't, and I would be defending to him. Like, don't disrespect, because she would call me, and he in the car. He knew I existed.
Wow.
It was one of them kind of situations.
Now, do you think he felt like you was keeping her happy, so that made him happy? That's crazy to me.
There was another female that I was really close with, and she had, look, I would have to scan, more or less evaluate her little, boyfriends. I mean, there's been some times I didn't come over and I'd probably be loaded or something. Look at it and be like, this lame ass nigga, and go up and sleep in her bed. I mean, then the next day I'd be like, damn, did I cock block you because I just went up there and just passed out in your shit, our shit?
Right.
No, it's cool, because if he allowed that, then he wasn't the one.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So like I said, when I was doing all of that, it was...
So I have a couple of comments from the people. Rhea said, I can't willingly be with another woman's husband. Keyword husband. Catch it. Let me stop, but seriously, when a man is honest about dating other women, I can respect his honesty, but I lose interest unless he is making me feel like I'm the only one. Yeah. And that's a great point. I always said, if you're going to cheat on me blindly. What I don't know won't hurt me.
Won't hurt you,
and that's my and that was my whole point. Like when people have allowed their significant others to touch me, that means that you're lacking in something where that person felt like
that's those people that go give that 100%.
Yeah,
and not give a little to yourselves, because it could be 100, it can be 80, it can be 70. Whatever you got to do. I don't want to know what my man Mario Weiner said. I don't want to know. If you're playing me, keep it on the low.
And I'm one of those people. They also asked Calvin what he was chewing on when he called. And another invite to Yamina to come on the podcast. I am with that.
Stuff keep freezing up.
People are definitely saying that they would share their location with somebody. You know what I mean?
I don't know why. I just don't know why. That's the silliest thing I've ever heard.
I'll tell you what was crazy. I used to share locations with a guy, and it was nearing the end of our relationship. And when things changed, okay, we're gonna stop. Miles and Shanny, where did they go? You said keep going to say this live video has ended. Okay, so anyway, I will apologize for that.
We still taping.
I had a situation with somebody, and we were nearing the end of our relationship. I had stepped out on the relationship, and I remember him telling me, like, lasagna may be your favorite food, but you don't want lasagna from the same restaurant all the time. But something about my actions changed for him. And so I'm thinking, like, I got to pass because we're going through a very difficult time in our relationship. So that gives me the right to go lay down with somebody. And I had somebody, I call him 30 words to this day. That was probably about 10 years ago. He never really talked. He just put it down. Hey, caller, how you doing?
Top of the top, my people. How y'all doing?
We're doing good.
So listen, in the past, I used to be what I would like to call a respectable cheater. No woman ever knew what I was doing unless I decided to tell her.
There you go.
Right? And that kept me from getting caught up in all that other nonsense or whatever. But if I wanted to be discreet, people be messing up when they cheat because either one, they don't have no respect, or they don't know how to vet well when it comes down to who they choose.
That's right.
And that's how things get messy. You got to know who you're dealing with. It's best to mess with somebody that's attractive and low-key, somebody that's attractive and always in the mix. That's what I like.
Absolutely.
So, Ty, how do you pick out the proper person to cheat with?
Well, first of all, outside of the physical, you got to start having these conversations. You got to see how they are, see how they talk. You know what I'm saying? See how loud they get, whatever. You got to pay attention. And some people will still see some big titties and a fat ass and be like, oh, man, you know what? I don't even care how she get her. Right. I don't even care. You know what I'm saying? I just want it all in my face. But when you level up your mindset and start paying attention to those things, you'll know. You'll know. Men just got to get past the physical aspect, and I think they'll be straight. See, me, now, I couldn't even see if I cheat now, it's only because somebody was able to get to me mentally.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't got nothing to do with looks. I could bypass looks all day because I've met a bunch of beautiful idiots with ugly personalities. So that's nothing. So yeah, people just got to be better, man, and be more respectful when they do it.
Todd, otherwise, I feel like what you saying too. Also, I think what a lot of guys get twisted is the abundance. You want to grab so much because the physical, right? And so you start getting so sloppy because it's like almost trying to rob a bank. You robbed a bank a couple times, you got away with it, and you keep getting away. So let me keep robbing more banks, and I'm gonna do 3 a day. Man, you're gonna get caught. It's like slow down, son.
And see, as a woman, we're still emotionally connected with people that we lay with.
That's
what I realized is the guilt for me. Like with my story, like when I did cheat and then it started to end. That's when the light clicked on. Like I put my best friend on the line. I gambled with my relationship with somebody who was willing to give the world for me, who was willing to make sure that my bills was paid or help me out. And I was just lusting over somebody who really wouldn't be seen with me in public.
And you know what? I
was
commend
just
you.
sexual.
I'm commend you too for actually admitting that, because a lot of women won't admit what you just said. They will not cop to that. Like, yo, I probably should have stayed with dude. You know.
Yeah. I have to apologize. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's real. That's real.
I have to take the accountability.
You're a rare lady. You're a rare lady.
Thank you. Kirsty. Okay. Todd, you there or are you gone? Okay, good talk. And
Call back.
And that would really be one of my biggest fears at this age, that I would allow somebody.
Ask you shall receive.
Call back. Cool.
Hey.
Todd,
My fault, y'all. But yeah, that's what I was saying, though. That's the problem with the world.
Shoot.
Look, that's the problem with the world, though, now. It's not enough honest women like Lake.
Right.
There's not enough women that's going to hold women accountable like Brittany.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what we missing.
That's what you're missing out here. Yeah.
If more women was try to like cling to what these women are saying, and kind of like not necessarily be like them, but take something from them and implicate that in their situation, they'll have a better outcome.
Yep.
And I think it's the same thing with men, though. You know what I mean? Like, other men telling men, like, man, you know what I'm saying, be faithful and committed to your marriage, or be faithful and committed to your relationship, because you do not have to commit. People say it's bold as hell, like they got up there at the altar and decided that they didn't want to be. But how can you tell a friend, a guy can't tell a friend that's been married for 20 years or 30 years how to, at what point? Look, I got some people, like, I'd be like, won't you get away from her? Yeah. And look, once I got married, I was like, I can't honestly tell him that. Yeah, because I know y'all loyal.
Now, and no, listen, what it is, men okay. I know a lot of dudes that are, like I said before, they never had a taste. Mm-hmm. Right? They never was single long enough, or not, or childless long enough, went out here and look, notched it up however you had to do it, right? And got to a point of where your ego has been soothed and massaged, and you're egoless now. There's nothing to prove to anybody, including the females.
I got a question for you. I got a question for y'all real quick, and then I'm gonna get off.
Okay.
If you find out your significant other cheating, who are you checking first? I'm gonna get off and listen.
I hope you can listen. Will you be able to listen? We have no clues what's going on. You want to go? Because
I think I said earlier, my answer to that would be, I'm not confronting anybody. If that's what you feel like you need to do, just let me know. Because
what are you doing then in that situation? If you're not confronting, you just gonna stay with your significant other and either get your lick back or just act like
it's not about a lick back. Remember now, most marriages are what? Technically,
they say business contract.
Damn right.
That's what they say.
So listen.
I don't know if I agree
so what
with
we're
that.
talking about is corporate espionage, right? Or short selling the stocks, or you're doing something in the business, right? So that's tend to be. I'm gonna look at it from a punitive standpoint. Mm-hmm. Give me some money,
right?
Make sure. Listen, you can keep that nigga. Make sure that nigga is look. He didn't. You all of a sudden you got a bridge card.
So for you, right? Pretty much. It had to benefit you. I don't
put my. Listen, I'm all out of love. I'm all cried out.
That's real.
My ego is. I don't really have much of that. I don't care.
Gotcha.
And as far as I'm at that point, I'm in my drop dead years.
Did you used to care or be angry or be like, you better not?
I have shot at my exes. I have tried. Listen, I have been through.
I was just trying to see, was it a certain point that clicked
when I was young and insecure.
You just shot at your exes.
Oh my God.
So what I'm gonna do is
I had a moment one time.
What I'm gonna do is
look sober too. Like please, you better off I was loaded. You would have been straight.
Like other morning shows, I'm gonna give my answer after we tune in to our sponsors. So I need you guys to stay tuned and come back to hear Lake's answer to Todd's question.
Wow. Shaky.
It's shaky.
It's shaky.
Okay, so I'll get my answer now. What was the question?
Please give me an answer now.
What would I do if my significant other? Oh God.
Who are you confronting?
I'm definitely confronting him. You know what I mean? I I don't know, because I'm confronting him first.
That's tough.
But I'm not above saying that if I'm not getting the answer that I'm looking for, because that's one of my biggest issues. Is like I kind of want people to tell me what I want them to tell me.
Right.
I may try to
Can
investigate and find out. Handle what? Being cheated on?
No, I guess in that case, yes. But just them telling you what you really want to know. Because a lot of people say, hey, I did this to spare your feelings.
I don't believe in sparing my feelings because my imagination is so huge.
Oh, yeah. Don't let me make
You know
up
what
a
I mean?
story.
I'd rather for you to hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And that is the story. I mean, going back, like, if you don't want to be the stepfather of my son, tell me that. Don't tell me that you stopped the relationship because of, we were going separate ways and I wanted to respect. No, tell me what's going to hurt my feelings so at least I know the truth.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to give you the truth. You know what I mean? Like, so confronting him first, a lot of times men don't want to hurt their woman's feelings. So I would probably start digging, and that's going to be the downslope of our relationship because I'm going to start looking for the answers that I'm looking for.
So if she didn't know, you wouldn't confront her, but if she did know, you maybe would confront her.
I'm not going to.
Or you just confronting him.
I'm not going to confront
period.
her maliciously.
Okay.
I'm just gonna ask, I want the truth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what type of relationship are you guys carrying on? Like, is this one of the things, are y'all going to dinner? Like, do you know his children? Like, some people have side people and they're closer to them than the person they committed to.
More than likely.
More than likely.
That's the case.
And that's seriously.
And that's what I need to know.
But there's a reason why that person's the side. And then if that doesn't work out with the main person, you're not graduating up to the first. Would you? As the side?
That's interesting because people say I can't trust you now because I've seen you
how
you would move in that instance. But that's such a double standard. Because you can't have your cake and eat it, so you can't enjoy it while it's good.
But as the person that would be in the relationship, you're not graduating up to number one. You
but
staying
that's
at
wild
number
work
2
though because you put in time.
I'm gonna go find some more new.
No, but that's crazy. No, because you put in time with that side. So it's like, how are you not graduating to first? If anything, they should be runner up.
That carries
because
on.
they had enough weight to hold as the side.
I had carry over side chicks.
You know what?
Not carry over. Where my to-go plate?
They ain't going nowhere. They've been like, damn, we went through about 3 different girlfriends.
See, and that's another reason why they should be one.
This is a great time for me to give recognition and homage to a situation that I used to be in. Back in the day, I had a ex-boyfriend, Rico. I thought he was my boyfriend, but apparently he was Shannon's boyfriend, but Shannon knew who I was, but he was really Charlotte's boyfriend. But he ended up having a baby with Nicole. I think that was your name. I can't remember, but I met her.
A real name.
She was cool. Charlotte was cool, but her sister was the one who threw my baby daddy in jail.
Down to his kneecap.
He was like skinny curly hair, we always fall for it. And he was a hood nigga, so we like that stuff.
That'll do it.
But
pretty Ricky ass niggas, right?
Just to fast forward, I would just like to say rest in peace to Charlotte. I heard you died.
At least you said R.I.P.
I want to say, Rico, if you're listening, I'm gonna put that $5 on your JPay.
Rico the freak.
Oh, not money on the phone.
Wait a minute, Charlotte died. Charlotte died. Little dark skin Charlotte.
If that's
not you know her too.
Oh wow.
I don't know if you know these people.
Well, at least you really put money on the books.
And shout out to Mac Dog Gravy, who was Rico's best friend, who also passed away. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Mia. Mia has nothing to do with this, but we used to do a podcast together, and Mia passed away on Easter, and I didn't give you your flowers.
You like a
on the show.
Black Widow.
It's kind of bad because
so how old were these people?
Both Charlotte and Mac Dog Gravy was like early 40s.
Oh, that's still very
Mia
young.
was 56.
Oh,
I mean, that's
were they unalived or they just died?
Cancer.
Wow.
And 2 cancers and a heart attack.
And then dude's JPay, Mr. Reek the Freak.
Mr. Reek the Freak is.
He's just waiting on commentary.
He just had to sit down, but hopefully, we talked about it last night. Maybe this is what he needed to have his life saved. Because
that could be
sometimes you out there and you know
Moving,
you start to
yeah.
because me and Shannon at the time, this was back in my 20s, we ended up fighting in the street. Like going I was going through this side chick thing with her for like 3 years.
You on the east side?
Huh?
You from the east side?
Yeah. I was living on the east side. I was living on the east side.
Not too much.
And I lost my way.
Y'all do the same foolishness on the way.
Just noticing.
We was
noticing patterns.
We was off of Puritan when the fight happened.
Okay.
Thank you.
She had to mace me. So anywho, it was the most tragic and dark. I need to write about it. Side piece on side piece on side piece situation.
So it was a trio.
A quadruple.
A quadro.
All around Rico.
Yeah, because I one day I remember leaving his house upset. I went through his phone, called Nicole. Well, I don't know. Nicole is not her name. But I texted her and told her to come over and nothing but panties and a coat. And then I sat on the corner to watch, and she pulled up.
Panties and a coat.
And then he was like, "That was your fault. You the one that called her over." So yeah, I fucked her.
Oh, okay. Yeah. At least
I learned my lesson.
Okay.
So okay.
I thought you was definitely gonna fight her, but
no, I wasn't.
Okay.
I got a couple
and
things.
She had a mustache.
That was the plot twist. Okay.
With mustaches. I don't fight girls with mustaches and big booties. Them glutes. She was like 5'11".
Compact built.
Compact.
Yeah.
One smack.
But you a brown belt.
I wasn't then.
Okay.
I started training after that.
She's like, won't give me again.
And I'm still not fighting no chick with
30 years old catching karate classes.
I had to.
Like, fuck this.
Where do I sign up?
Didn't mace no more.
Sabanam, we can text Sabanam. He's still teaching.
Okay.
No, so Charlotte, was she part of the Outcast?
I believe so.
Yeah.
She was a Cushenberry.
Okay.
So,
man, I just got sad.
It is a
Cushenberry, the city council.
Their nieces.
Oh, okay.
We can talk about
All
them
right.
offline. Which is how one keep throwing people in jail. She got my baby daddy and she got my Rico.
I was about to say she wasn't
my Rico anymore.
She wasn't gonna play no games.
So, and to your point, like after going through something so
traumatic
but messy and ghetto and
yeah,
that nigga dick. Well, he had all y'all strong out.
What? And I wasn't even.
That was a dope dick right there.
The crazy part is like,
wow,
I was out of it. Like him and Charlotte was still fighting in the street up until 2023.
Oh my god!
Still like
over other females.
See, she gotta understand that it's not gonna end.
Well, she's not gonna understand anymore because she's not with us.
This is a 20-year saga.
I told him to start writing. Hey, I told him yesterday. I said start writing a book because I need the extra income because people ain't gonna believe this. Like I don't think I can make it up. Yeah. But I'm only on my side looking in.
Put some couple bucks on Rico's book. Man.
Send him a letter.
You give it to him because
listen. Send my man's a letter. You got something to say.
Not a 4-page one.
I heard that with JPEG you get it back right away.
So be careful of them yellow big dick niggas from the hood.
See, that's why I don't
go have you going in the tizzies. Look, yeah, all right, Shane.
See,
but
get them skinny little niggas.
You know what the crazy thing about it? All the fighting and everything that happened during those times, like none of us grabbed a pistol. Yeah, you know what I mean.
That's
like
good.
nobody was running over.
Yeah.
Like
I think that they would. People would do that.
I've been seeing situations where 3 people got ran over with cars. Like that's what we using our cars as a weapon.
Yeah,
I've seen that several times.
Yeah,
like that's what we doing.
That's
like,
sad work. And the thing about
it up.
Yeah,
and the thing about it is, after this is over, it's gonna be another group of girls or guys or whatever that you're gonna have to do this with. So it's like at this point, you got to get out. Wise,
you got to get
early.
out.
You have to get out.
And I know it hurts.
That's because y'all are sometimes, like I say, men are completely emotionally unstable. You guys aren't even in the register once them feelings get hurt. Because I feel too.
Because why would y'all do that?
This is why, I'm going to be honest with you. This is why I've always been, well, they've always attracted to me the worst kind of women. Damaged.
It be like that. They typically be a good time.
Damaged women who are like, who have gotten over the fact, like, look, I am a whore. and I don't care.
Lake said that, like, damn, I've been through that.
And look, and then confident in how they move.
I've never.
And I've
Do y'all
always
respect them? If they,
I
like,
hate to say it, I respect a hoe more than I probably respect just a lady in a sense.
I was gonna say, and that's fine. I was just asking because some men feel like that.
Because at least a hoe know who she is.
She know who she is. Yes, there's no.
But who want to just say that they are?
But can you turn them into a housewife?
I don't think they're looking for that.
They're not looking for that.
Yeah, at that age.
Okay. You can't change the leopard spots. You know,
it is what it is. It don't even matter what age they are. When a woman admits that she's a hoe, and when she's ready to convert to
in the YN community, they not too heavily praised.
First of all, most of the YNs are hoes.
They broke anyway.
Exactly.
Broke hoes.
Okay. But think about it like this, though. Can we just put this into perspective? They are young. How much money you really thinking a younger person getting? And if they are, what they doing?
Are we talking about females or dudes?
Males. Okay. I'm talking about males.
Listen, I know.
Let's talk about males. How old are you talking about?
Like YN, so we'll say 23.
23-year-olds can make money. Bread.
Like, without being in a plant.
Oh yeah,
I'm legally is what I'm saying.
Listen,
McDonald's got a good wage.
Yeah, but is McDonald's really gonna have you doing the
He's 23 years old. He got a strong back. Amazon working.
You know the little money thing where they do the little.
No, I don't know about that.
No, see that's the YN situation.
Oh, the little.
But you know what the thing is, and what most young people need to realize is, like, at 22, 23, if my son was working at McDonald's, seriously, work at McDonald's, you can be home with me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we get clowned for that.
Don't have no children. Don't spend unnecessary money. You know, remember back in the day, like, my friends used to work at fast food restaurants and they would stack their checks. And then they would show up like,
people get
$600. Like, you 23 years old and you got $1,200 for
go get a bank account.
Now that's broke.
Look,
I'm just saying, if you look, well, you know,
what's broke?
Social media. People in their 20s, if you don't have a car, if you're still living with your mom, if you don't have a lot of money, you get clowned for those things. Our 20 and your 20s are not the same.
No, our 20s was the same because we not the same. We couldn't stay with our parents. I had to leave at 17.
It wasn't the same.
Like, what time you leave?
It's pretty much the same. And think this, I'm gonna tell you what the foolishness come in when y'all believe social media is real.
Yeah, when that shit is real, that shit is not real.
I mean, I get what
I
get what y'all saying. However, it's real people that's posting about real life situations. As I said, our 20s is not your 20s.
They're also lying.
These was $5.
That's not true.
It's a mirage.
But listen, what I'm trying to say is they be lying too. As much as people pour their feelings out, a lot of people are lying.
Of course.
So we went through the exact same thing. It's just the instruments wasn't the same. So we dealt with the people who's faking and perpetrating, as we would call it. We've been through that.
We knew the skinny chain niggas.
Right. And
we knew the niggas that had the little skinny little cheek rims.
Right.
But we knew the ballers too that was making real street money that these little YNs will never touch.
So what age were they making that?
19,
younger than that.
17.
I knew kids that was off the porch at 12 that was buying cars.
What was they doing?
Selling dope.
Exactly. That's not legal.
So
that's what I said. I said legally.
So YNs gotta legally be able to make that bread without a college education.
That's what I'm saying. The probability of that happening is slim.
So they're all fraud. Because
Exactly. That's what I said. Let's be fair. When y'all said YNs don't really have it like that, I'm like, let's be honest. How would a younger person have that much money legally?
Well,
how much is much? I mean, how much money you need?
You got to stack a whole
exactly.
That's being about. I can put a whole bunch of. I can make
that's called income tax money, sweetie.
Right.
Exactly.
I can make 1,000 look like 10,000.
That's
put the right singles and fives, and then put 100 on top of 20 here. There. Trust me, I done made a 10,000. I made 1,000 look like 10,000.
But I'm not gonna lie. When I was 19 years old, I was making a lot of money.
Yeah, because you had a hit record, like you were famous.
But at the same time,
was he?
That's what they tell me.
That's what they tell me.
I wasn't here, no, I'm just
me either.
But what I'm trying to tell you is that legally, a young person can make some money. He can make money.
If he in a plant.
I mean, he don't have to make it. He don't have to be in a plant. He could cut hair. He could do. I'm telling you.
I mean, but how much you really getting from hair? No shade, no tea.
Oh, you crazy?
What do you mean? I'm just saying.
Now barbers is making 45 to.
Well, yeah, because haircuts is about that.
I told King to go ahead and grow his hair out. You might as well.
Now haircuts are more expensive.
I know
before
barbers,
a hot 15 would do y'all.
I am very friendly with barbers, and believe me, if on a good Saturday in the spring, this weekend, he gonna cut 10 heads at $50 a pop. How much he done make?
I'm saying, are they older or are they younger?
It don't
It doesn't matter because when you older, you doing stuff because now I want to. You probably got some stuff saved up. You have X assets, things like that. So it's like you making that money or you cutting that hair. It's like, okay, I'm putting a little money in my pocket. Cool. But you got other things when you older. It's not the same when you younger and you starting off and you cutting hair because you got to grow your clientele. When you younger,
when I was 23 years old, I probably made $100,000 working a job, let alone what I was doing in the streets.
Do you mind specifying what kind of job?
I was working an office job in logistics. And you talking about 2000. This is 2000. I had a 68 Camaro. I had a muscle car. I had a Buick Grand National that I sold. Look, I sold that to go continue getting it fixed. I had 2 cars. I was living in West Bloomfield.
Never seen that kind of money.
I mean,
we got to get us to living.
You see what I'm saying?
And
it happens, but really think about the probability.
And look, Miles, legit
of everybody
money.
Else.
The street money was just stacking.
Exactly.
We didn't touch it. Listen,
that's what I said. The haircutting is for the older guys.
But that was for a rainy.
No, that was. And you got to understand. You got older guys not stacking to live. I mean, stacking to live. To live. So what I'm trying to say, a young dude. Listen, you have a young guy. Right now, he's like 20. He got landscaping business, right?
Right, got a trailer.
Yeah,
he invested.
He's getting money.
He getting money,
bread all
right
day.
now. Right now, he getting money. Today, he getting.
But he had to build his clientele.
I mean, it's easy to build.
Just be available.
Listen, this honestly got true, and this is what I got to do. When I leave here in an hour and a half, 2 hours, I'm going on 8 Mile and I'll give my business card to everybody on 8 Mile. Hey, I need business. I'm walking in myself. Right.
They can put a face to their name.
Because, not only for that, because I understand where I used to get my money from, which is being personable.
That's what Dorian said, be available.
And then along
personable, too.
And so, again, young people can make more money. They have a better chance to reach more people than we ever did. So you can post something and say, hey, lawn service, $35, and get phone calls.
Believe me.
I mean, all day.
Yeah.
But now, guess what? We couldn't do that. It's a lot of where you think.
That's why you said the instruments are different,
right? And when you think it was $5, it may have been $5, right? But at the same time,
that $5 spent a lot longer.
It did. Yeah.
But guess what?
Because you can get a few things for $5.
But y'all have a chance to do more. Y'all just don't do it.
And it's the humbling part of it. Like I had some young guys show up at my house to shovel my snow. I think they charged me like $40.
$40.
And I gave it to them. Why? Because how many times do young men knock on your door and ask you to shovel snow? And I'm like,
not trying to rob you.
Not trying to rob you. A real I told them I wasn't opening my door. I'm not giving you no money unless you got a Cash App. You know what I mean? Like you ain't about to snatch.
And you know most people do have Cash App.
And they did out there and they did the work. And they was on their way, and I was like, I have, and they haven't been back. That probably was the hardest day of work they had. They probably used my shit to go buy some chips.
So we got them a pizza or something.
So go to the dispensary.
Dispensary, right.
But had they kept it up, we would have had to negotiate another price.
Yeah.
But they also would have got a client for me because it's just me and my son at the house, and I'm not getting out there to do it. Why don't I have King do it? That's my business. I don't need you judging me. But if they wanted to come by for $20,
yeah, that's what I said.
I'm gonna ask you up here, but go ahead. Right. Why you got King doing it?
Because there's several reasons why I don't have King doing it.
I don't have no kids.
For one, I got to go out there and help them. So that defeats the purpose.
I was gonna say my granddad used to watch me.
This is the thing. Like I've had King do it. Don't get me wrong. King has never had a man show him the skills of like lawn maintenance and things like that. I never had to do it as a child.
Right.
So
you can't really show him.
How am I going to show? You know, all I know is that he get a bitchy ass mama in the window like, God damn it! I said push the snow. You know, and he's like, you know what? You know what I mean? Like, and it's just not a great
At least
environment.
you care about that. Some
Can I
parents
say
don't
this
care.
much? I think too that this generation we don't challenge y'all. Yeah, we make it too easy for you, and then when you wind up being a piece of shit and a loser and a bum, you be like, damn it, I should have right.
Right.
Sometimes challenges make champions.
All the time.
All the time. And so you know,
either gonna do it or you're not.
Can you challenge though without teaching first?
Fall and bust your head and get up, because that's how we learn.
Okay.
That's it. It ended the discussion. There it is.
Tia Black, shout out to Tia, posted a video today, and there was a little boy. He was about 3 years old. The knot on his head was bigger than Miles.
Nice.
And his dad's like huge.
You disrespectful.
I'm sorry. It wouldn't be the first time. But so the dad is filming the little boy, and he like, what your mama say? And she said, oh Lord, my baby.
I saw that.
He said, well, how you fall off the bike? He said, I fell like this. And ran off, bumped his head, and he said, what your mama say? Oh Lord,
I saw that video. They're like, somebody put this little boy in act.
But the
He gonna be a
caption
mess.
said, when masculinity is in the household. This boy had a noggin on his head. But his dad already told him, like, you failed.
You failed. Get up.
Get up.
What the hell you
No, but what if I'm really hurt though behind
You'll be fine. You listen. Concussions. You look. You ain't got
But
to
see,
run.
that's the thing.
You ain't got to run an offense.
Can we let our young boys have emotion?
That is emotion.
I mean, but not that kind of emotion. Listen.
You said not that kind of emotion?
But why should emotion be justified? Why is an emotion whatever I'm feeling in that moment? Whether I'm hurt,
that's okay.
I'm sad,
it's okay
I want to cry.
No, it's okay for a boy to be emotional, but you have to be, that emotion has to be identified. Because if it's not like if you, I have a friend, a buddy of mine in the hip hop world called Jason Wilson. I don't know if y'all know him. I've seen him. He the dark skinned guy with the big beard. He talk about.
Is he handsome?
He might look him up. Anyway, he teach young men self defense and all that stuff. And there was a boy crying. What you crying for? He said, because it hurt. He said, son, things in life is going to hurt you. You got to push through it. So come on, hit the wood. He said, no, stand up, breathe. Wait a minute. He said, if you can tell me that you crying because it hurt, it's something else, ain't it? He said, yes. So now he's saying so the whole thing, once you identify with why a boy is crying or why a woman is crying, you get a better result. Them motherfuckers just crying because she gonna baby me and tell me, or Shady gonna come to my rescue and say something. No, fuck that. Why are you crying?
And the one thing I do know about
same thing
being
with
a boy mom, I hate to say one thing I know about men, but it's gonna be a day that they never really cry again. I'm not gonna say
exactly.
But the thing is, when my son got 7-8 years old, I couldn't take it. I'm almost 40. I don't want to be around no crying ass man. And he like, I'm not a man. To me, you are.
And listen, the responsibility, integrally from a father's standpoint, is to teach his son how to regulate his emotions.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's sometimes it's worth a cry, and then there's sometimes you just got to say fuck it.
Right.
Okay? And listen, you gonna get one thing. I like I say, I practice stoicism. I read a lot of Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius and all that kind of stuff. Meditations and books behind it. But my father, one valuable thing that he taught me, and he had to always, and this is something that we as men, we as you become a man, eventually you're going to know how to, like you say, identify your emotions. Why I'm mad right now? Why I'm mad because this happened, that happened. And then you got to know how to be like, all right, let me turn the volume down on that.
Right.
Yep.
Okay? Now, when you're young, you don't know how to do that.
She asked the questions and she ain't even listening.
Shannon? Oh, you be mad when I do you like that.
Exactly. Because he thought he ate.
I was mad.
He ate. Okay.
But listen, the whole thing is it's about regulating emotions with boys and and it comes from when you fall, you got to pick yourself back up because like Miles said, my man was saying, listen, you're going to always hurt. You're going to always, life is all about, listen, that's how you know you're alive.
Why do we teach that?
You know what?
Because you got to be prepared.
Because you got to be prepared. Because here's the thing, too. I was explaining this to my neighbors. We have our what we call, this is our little
community huddle.
Little vent, right? Three men, all over 40, late 40s, 50s, whatever. Hey, when it goes good, it was a team win. The family got it together. But when it goes bad, it's all on dad. It's all on the man, all on the husband. It's all his fault.
I tell people that.
And you have to explain that to young men. Like, this is why they don't want to be. But see, you
I don't think that should be taught, though.
Checking out. Why shouldn't it?
Because
what's the alternative?
Because you may come across a point in time where that's not the trajectory of the situation.
You hear what you just said?
It may come a point in time.
May.
In May.
You know, I'll tell you this.
I don't know. I just don't feel like we should be
raising a son, and especially when everybody says that women can't raise a man or whatever.
Women can't raise a boy. You can't raise a man.
Whatever. Y'all got to say something.
In fact.
Excuse me.
True.
This is my one job I have, and my legacy is my son.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't want my son like Rico with several women in the street fighting and him fighting them, crying with them and being emotional
Ideally,
with them.
what you would want him to do? What would you want him to do with his life? Since you want to control it like
better. Be better.
I want him to be a man, for one, who controls his emotions and know that at some point in time, someone's going to want you to be a provider and a father. What decisions are you going to make at 13 to get to that point? And today I heard a man say, like, a woman is invited on the yacht. A man has to spend his life trying to figure out how to get the yacht to invite the broad on the yacht. You know, life is different for my boy. You know, so his
as a man, I already know.
But I can't raise it, so, you know. But I know the type of man that I haven't been privy to have in my life. I've run across some that take care of their family, and if he does cry or is sad at night, he wait until the job's done. He is a superhero in his own right. He is a black man, and even as his mom say, nothing else happens that I can control, he's gonna have a responsibility to even take care of me. That's going to be a lot of pressure on somebody who the roles was reversed. And then one day this woman who was so strong and yelling at you and this, that, and the other, I too will be dependent upon you. I want the son that's going to be like, I got us. Period. Yeah. I don't know how else these are the conversations. We in the gym now. You know what I mean? Like, I know he needs to work out. We're not sports people. I've never been a sports person, but I knew at 13, if I am going to the gym, why can't he walk on the treadmill? Why can't I teach him how to lift weights? Because at 16.
So why at 40, at 13, he couldn't shovel your snow, and you could have paid him the $40.
Well, I pay him for other shit.
Vocation is important to a young man.
So
idle hands is the devil's playground, especially to a boy.
But listen, that's...
Yeah, because boys and men do use their hands more.
Every day, he is making a decision to do more of men-like things.
Like?
So, and can I say something? And the fact that he's making a conscious effort to do that, I feel like the longevity of his sticking is longer. Because you got to think, when somebody tell you to do something, you're more reluctant to do it versus you wanting to do it. Or knowing like, hey, I'm going to just get this out the way and get it done.
Now, I know a father can push his son if he's reluctant or not. That's the difference between male and female. But like, something that my son does that I recently noticed he started doing in the past couple of months is he never lets me walk out the house. He always walks out the house behind me. Even if he goes to the car, he gets out the car and he comes back out and he locks the door. That used to be my pet peeve when men walk to the car and women is still in to lock down the car and this and the other. He started doing that I think he noticed that somebody I was dating was doing that for me. But every day, every morning before school.
So you said something I was just about to say when you said what type of man you want your son to be. The example has to be placed in front of him.
I said that from the beginning. Okay, go ahead. You're right.
I'm just saying.
I don't want him cutting people off and talking like a bitch like I do.
I was in a great debate this past Sunday about single parentship. I'm raising a great man. I said, listen, you can't say you're raising a great man. He's 17 years old.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
And I said, you just said that him and his girlfriend got into it because he had an attitude that she didn't want to go. Those are giving off qualities of who you are, female traits. and not. If a man was in his life, or you had a man and he sees how he's treating his mother, he's treating you well, he would have an example of he would, okay, well, how about tomorrow? Yep. So because they were like, Miles, I had two women like, would you mentor my son? I said, tell you can bring him up here anytime. I'm available anytime after 12. Well, how about the summer? Bring him up here. I said, have him come up Monday.
And she had an excuse why they couldn't get up here.
Both of them. And so what I say is, don't get me wrong. A lot of women say things like, they say my women can't. No, a woman can never raise a boy to be a man. However, you can nurture him all day. A woman can do a great job at ushering him through his stages of life on being the best person he can be to a woman.
I think it's a constant argument that we will always have. And I think I said this last week.
Statistics show.
You're not going to tell me what I can raise when you're not there helping me. And even with you offering to have the boys come up there, people always offer, but they don't help. You know what I mean? Like it's not convenient for me.
It's not meant to be convenient.
When I'm trying, I am an emotional, unstable person. You don't know what breaks me down at night.
No, I get you.
You know, so when I'm here and there, I just told my son that yesterday, like, I apologize for being emotional, but when I have to think for you and me and everybody else constantly, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a fucking headache.
It's not even a headache. It's an emotional draining. And then somebody tells you, well, make time and bring him here. But nobody calls and say, hey, I'm coming to pick him up. Never.
Yeah, but
never.
So never. My mother had a situation like that before. And what she did was, when I said, Mom, I want to go here, she was like, Pete, I don't have a car. Things are bad out here. So me just putting you in the cab is not going to work. So the first thing I said was, Ma, can I call my uncle? Can I call my cousin Punch? I said, can I call my daddy? She said, yeah. See how that worked out for you? Mm-hmm. That didn't work out. She said, I said, well, can I call my cousin Punch? She was like, sure. I called my cousin Punch. Punch said, what time you got to be there? And he took me. See, one thing that I've learned, and this is the part that I love about me, and also the part I hate about me. I done lived a life that most people would never understand. You feel me? From a single parent mother. Mm-hmm. Now, most people be like, you had your mother and your father in your life. No, I didn't. My daddy was 1.5 miles away. And I didn't have him in my life. But also, I realized as I grew up, my father didn't want to be in my life how he was in other people's life because he was a dangerous person. You know what I mean?
There was a reason he stayed away from
and the mentality.
And he didn't want that rubbing off on you.
He didn't want it on me. Yep. My brother just told me 2 years ago, said, hey, Dad, like, nobody could whip you. Nobody. If anybody could hit you, it had to be him. Yep. He told my mother, he said, if my son do anything, come get me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then, so what I'm saying is, I did not know certain things that my father was keeping me from, but I hated him because he wasn't
was
there.
Misunderstood.
And so as I grew, I started
to a man.
I'm like, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So
I swear. That's a whole. I see how you can understand that, and you're like, yeah, okay. Me, I think that's bullshit.
Huh?
Because the day-to-day activity and strength that it took was on your mom, and he could make a conscious decision that he just wanted to stay away. Like that doesn't help.
I ain't say stayed away.
What did you say?
He was pushed away.
I said, listen.
You got the impression that he was away, right?
Listen, my father stayed a block, a mile
away.
Right. And I used to go to his house, but my father was hardly ever there because he was doing other shit.
But he had the right to make that decision. That's the same thing. I mean, what's the difference between what I said and what you're saying?
What I'm trying to explain to you is that no one never understands still what a man was going through. My mother had me thoroughly. I never gave my mother one problem in her whole entire life. Mm-hmm. So what I'm trying to tell you is my mother had me. When I turned 35 years old, I went to a family reunion on the Dixon side of the family, right? They got a table this long out in the park, right? A shrine of my daddy. Mm-hmm. They thought that nigga was Jesus. Mm. I thought he was shit, right? My auntie grabbed me by my shoulder. I was like, yeah, that baby, that was our what they call the anarchy or the monarch. What
he was our king. He was the head of
the
patriarch
of our family. Because when I was walking, looking at the shrine, like, what the fuck?
Right.
People was like, that's Petey, that's Miles' son. That's Miles' son. And I'm saying, like, what the fuck? And so to them, I was the shit.
Right.
Right? Wow. So I'm with my girl, they telling this story about this great man, blah, 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 and they talking about their Uncle Miles. Mm-hmm. My girl like, he sound like you.
Yep.
I said, I'm learning this shit today.
Yep. I was today years old.
But what's the point?
The point I'm trying to tell you is that the things my father had to go through with other things in his life, I didn't know until then. And my mother never spoke ill of him. Mm-hmm. She just said, if you ask him for something, you can't be mad if he do not get it. I forgot my father had 11 children all together. You know what I mean? Still, mm-hmm. So
but only a man is gonna understand that and make an allowance for that.
I'm not making an allowance.
But you're explaining it as if it's okay, and if it's okay in your head,
no, it's not. It wasn't okay then, and it's not okay like cut off. But the things like, how about this? How about if you're the type of mother how you are, and then there's another mother who's single parent like you, there's nothing like you, who don't mind the crying, who don't mind all these things, and then when that child grows up, he was like, there's nothing wrong with it. But you're not raising your son to be a crybaby. She raising her kid to be a crybaby. But in her eyes and her family eyes, oh, she ain't shit because she giving him everything he want, blah, blah, blah. All I'm trying to say is that no one never knows the extent of what people go through their life and why they do things. I did not know. I did not have a do not touch PD clause.
Right.
Because my brother's like, man,
which is cool for you, but some people don't have, you never know what a person is going through in their life, and some people can't even function going through their life because they have to ignore those things to take care of their seeds. Regardless of what reason is going on. Yeah. It's just like King's dad is incarcerated.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I tell King all the time, and I know what's going to happen. When his dad get out, they're going to be best of friends. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to be allowed to express how much that's going to hurt me.
Why is it going to hurt you?
Because to King, mm-hmm. it's just his dad. Mm-hmm. For me, it's no child support. Like right now, I gotta figure out how to come up with $60 for dues. He about to graduate from 8th grade. Like shoes, he need a new pair of shoes. $75 on his hair. None of that is gonna matter to King when Mark stepped through those gates, and he probably still won't be financially available to me. I would never tell my son how much I pray in tears at night.
How hard it is for what you're trying to do.
Right.
All
but
the sacrifice.
he would sit there and be like, my dad, because I did it to my mom. My dad wasn't even there. But what I would not do is say my dad had an excuse not to be there. He died my friend. No, I respected him.
You know what? In that essence, now what did he go? I don't mind my business.
I said
he's incarcerated, right?
Right.
And more than likely that's self-inflicted.
The same chick that threw Rico in jail threw him in jail.
All right. Put that nigga in the pen too. So he dealing with rats. Nice. But at the same time, you did not prioritize your child, your son. That's a failure. Right, I can understand. That's a failure
you were
on
doing
your
whatever
part.
You did.
I'm very sympathetic to single mothers. But look, I would put an addendum to it. How that father isn't in that life and how you take to it is how I look at it, is how I'm gonna judge the situation. Because I know some women who were abused. They were married and their husband abused them, and then they got on drugs because they was beating them up, the pain pill situation. And then that person had to get away from that father, and she has to raise this child all on her own. Maybe some child support, I'm not sure. No personal support. Somewhat like you. You have to deal with this on your own 100%. You got to come up with the bills, paying everything, right? I've known females who have forced niggas away. Okay? Forced niggas away and have said, I can do it myself, and then the child grows up to be a criminal.
Right.
Right? I've known some women who have, it didn't work out for whatever. Listen, it's all, it's everything. Life is called a gray area.
Yeah. Right.
We all living in gray. Ain't no black and white. Ain't no right or wrong. It's just gray. Now, how you got to that position and how you feel about it personally, how yourself, listen, you had a child. You may be mad at him for not being here right now in this struggle, but you had a choice in this too. And so guess what? Like I was saying about the dude, dad, when you win the title, right? Now listen, King can graduate, get drafted, play football. Who you gonna think first?
His daddy.
No, he not.
I was about to say,
No, he not. No, he not.
Deion Sanders.
No, he not. No, he not. No, he not. Look,
every boy be like, I want to thank
exactly.
Baba.
Listen, I got a business, right? Hear me out. I got a business, right? You know who was the secret pusher of my business?
Your mama.
Yeah, before she left this earth. When I started a landscaping business, my grandmama gave me a works GT, one of the first battery powered little edgers, right?
Women are powerful.
Women will back you up, right?
Okay.
But listen, here's the thing though.
They'll tell you
the game that I got
They
from
definitely will.
my father and the father figures still out trumps what mom did. I'm gonna tell you why. Because what my father taught me, what my several uncles, OGs, I still look, somebody like he's older than me, I still look up to him because that's from the rhetoric that I was raised.
Yeah, right. I get that.
It's a pecking order. If you've been on this planet a little longer, but men teach other men. Steel sharpens steel.
Yeah.
And so I may have felt the way about my dad because he came and told me, you got a half brother. As I'm cutting the grass, I'm doing my chores. Oh yeah, we're gonna go to McDonald's. What? Look, huh?
Okay.
The fuck? And I was bitter. My brother was bitter. He went to his grave bitter about all of that, right? Now my little brother, he one of my beneficiaries, right? He's got and I had what it was 10 years ago. I confronted my uncle and my father. We were on a road trip, and I was driving.
Oh, they didn't know that you knew.
Oh no! It wasn't even. I'm like, It was about, I'm a man now, right? So I'm having a man conversation with these men. And what it was, I had to, what we like to call a G-check, right? You apologize to y'all wives, and they forgave y'all for your little outside children. But your oldest son is dead to the streets. Your oldest daughter, Unc, is mentally having issues. Your son, Unc, is going through a divorce, and you've been, you kept him from OG, so he's doing, things. And then you got me, right? 2-time felon, out here just in the wind. None of us had kids, but your outside kids did. You know what you did? You curse your children. And guess what? And I made them, and listen, I made them apologize to the dead, to the people that wasn't in that car, and mostly me. Or we're gonna die on this freeway.
Right. Yeah.
And guess what? Here, look, in hindsight, and all they kept telling us was, and they kept, listen, we was talking to y'all. We was trying to keep you out of trouble. Trying to do this, trying to do that, right?
That was their rebuttal. 5
years later, I was like, damn. They were right. But I just wanted that. I had that as a man.
You need that confirmation.
I need that confirmation. Like, okay, you apologize to them girls, but you never apologized to us and what you did to us and that behavior and kind of like Miles coming in and you coming, you because for a long time, y'all ain't shit. Fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? You lousy. You cheat on my mama. You did this, did that. Somehow she forgave you. She extracted what she needed out of you.
So
my aunt extracted what she needed out of you.
So can I ask, why do you think that the lessons that you learned from your father and or uncle trumped what your mom and or grandma provided, and they actually pushed you to start the businesses which you made?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell. Look, why it's so crazy, because they pushed, but they showed me how to maintain it. They showed me how to be a man out here, pay your bills. Ain't about being broke. You ain't at this point. You ain't got to impress nobody. Your credit is more important than anything. How your bank account look. How your home look. That's all that matters. Yeah, I'm a self-sacrifice. Look, all the selfish shit I done did from 13 to about 44. I had a good run. I done slayed a lot of pussy. I done lived, made money, drove. I had my taste. So let me spend the rest of my days taking care of things. It's no problem. And that was the lesson that the men in my life taught me. My mother it's gonna be all right. But listen, you're gonna always be good.
Your mother is always gonna mother you.
She gonna mother you, but dad gonna teach you some game.
I tell King's father the one favor he can do for me is make sure my son doesn't follow in his footsteps.
I
don't care what you do. I don't care if King get up there and thank his dad or have this shrine and he thinks he cool. Keep my son out of prison. Be honest. You was never honest with me about how you got there and what land.
It's like that movie South Central. You got to come back and make sure your son don't fall into that trap.
That's all I need. You know what I mean? Because like at right now, 13,
he's very impressionable.
Very impressionable at this point. Very
but
impressionable.
also have made a decision on who he wants to be. I mean, it's only 4 years out of high school. You know what I mean? Like, I know who I was at 13 or how my thoughts were.
What I was telling you, from 13 to what?
44.
Right. Now look, if he's smart, this is the part that what kills me about women be the single moms. You tell your daughters to go out here and fuck these niggas. You get your education. You don't need no man, right? I know mothers who do their daughters, right? Get your education, right? Then we want to tell our sons to go out here and, well, you try to be a nice boy and you find you a nice young lady and then you got to provide. Hold up. You ain't requiring that from her. So why he got to? So let me tell you something. To have your taste, to live and worry about yourself, that's what we're not teaching these young men to do nowadays.
You have to do that first before you can love a woman, and that's not happening, and that's why things are not working.
You ain't hear what I'm saying.
That's what he just said.
Right. I finished.
Why should he commit to you even any more than you should commit to him? And so this is the
mutual.
Well, listen. Right now, the way it's going, without that control, without that emotional regulation, Yeah, y'all gonna be sitting here like what I was saying earlier. I was like, damn, man, I'm so happy I got married, got out the game. I think I told that last week. I'm like, I feel for y'all. Good luck with what's going on out here.
It's not
Good
easy.
luck.
And then they will leave you with something. Because people aren't even concerned about their own body and how they, I mean, it's deeper. It's just deep. It's deeper than having a side chick or people on the side. Playing with emotions.
People killing people like it's nothing.
I literally, like now on Facebook is like pretty much all advertisement and this, that, and the other. So I came across a song called Crash Out. And it was about a guy who came in the house and seen this girl cheating and he shot her. He killed her. But the cheater, the guys in the closet is like trying to convince him like, let's rewind. If we can only rewind and you walked in the house, walk out. Like, this girl is for the streets. Like, she will miss you. Every woman who decides to cheat on a man, she will miss you.
Pride comes before the fall.
Right.
And ego, part of stoicism, what I was saying earlier, what do you have to prove?
Right.
With dealing with single mothers, I will say this. Whatever your child love, let them love it.
Let them love it, yep.
Let him love it.
I don't know what that means.
I'm about to give you an example.
I mean, the thing is, I don't know why that's not an option.
Oh, because most parents will only do what they want their child to do. Remote control stuff. And they don't have the time to deal and put into that child with that. When I told my mother, she said, "Did you do your math?" I said, "No." "Did you do your?" "No, but I'm finishing my story." I never forget. I was like roughly about the first, second grade. I'm finishing my story first. What you mean? You really like to write? Like, my first love is writing. My second love is music, because it's the brother and sister of music is writing.
Yeah. Right.
But that's how I'm wired to this very day. There's nothing to take me out of it, reading and writing.
She didn't discourage you from what you
love. Not one time.
Yep.
And when I said I want to get some turntables, she said, "Baby, I got cancer, and I don't know if I don't have the money for it." I said, "Okay." And guess what? I walked downstairs, and she said, "Go put in the load of clothes." She had my turntables and all. I was like, you want to take it back? She's like, "No. You deserve it."
Mom gonna get you the kickstart, which is just as important.
So when my dad came downstairs. He said, "Did you shoot today?" I said, "No." I said, "I've been on these turntables." He said, "Listen, your mother gonna teach you the basics. I'm gonna teach you survival." He said, he said, "Come on, let's go to the back." And we shot. We were shooting. He told me how to shoot. So I started shooting my gun, and he was like, I'm looking discouraged. I'm in here loading the gun like,
I'd rather be in the house doing something else.
He said, "Now, I'll make you load that gun 100 times. I need your head where we at right now." And I was like, when I say I couldn't stand that nigga, but later, I said, "Oh, I get it." Because when I told Pooter, my daughter, I said, "Your mother gonna teach you how to be a lady. I'm gonna teach you how to survive, because what she don't know how to do is what I know how to do good." I said, and it's not about survival. I said, last month, I said, it's not about surviving, it's about thriving. So everything we do is steps going forward.
Yep.
It's no longer just basically handling shit and just keeping it here. We gonna keep going. And she was like, "Okay." So every time I have her do something, Shani seen it. She had an attitude. She did the thumbnail. She did it so goddamn quick. She like this. Okay. I'm bored. I'm tired. Cause that shit, I need her to do other shit now. So I asked her, I said, "Shani, Buddha, what you do today?" "No, I'm working on a movie." "You working on the movie?" "Yeah, I watch a movie like 2 times, and I think I could do a movie too." So her creativity is something else, and I said, "Well, let's do a movie."
Encourage it.
And that's what I did, and that's what I'm gonna do. And I think
too, mom's lessons are more immediate. Whatever she can give you.
Yeah.
Like you said, you got dad taught you out there to shoot, but teaching you how to survive.
Yeah.
As they would say in Outkast, was like, tell me now, believe me later on. Like I said, we both had an epiphany about them.
Right.
Years later, like, oh yeah, that's right.
Because with the gun came responsibility. Mm-hmm. I had to learn how to clean it. Mm-hmm. I had to learn how to load it.
More than shooting it.
Unload it.
Yep.
Aim. Cock it. And this is all in the same process. My mother showed me how to make my bed. You feel me? How to do wash dishes, iron clothes, right? But that simple process of that gun taught me how to read better, how to make music better, process things better.
Slowly. Take your time.
And calmly.
Calmly.
Like,
it's a process.
I think Shandy and Lake probably seen me depressed. I mean, not depressed, but down. But me being fickle is different. You know, it's hard. If anybody see me fickle, they'd be fucked up. My boy Nate see me fickle one time, and he was like, "Oh, what I got?" He said, "What do I got to do?" So when you got people in your life like that, you have to just.
I don't even know what the definition of being fickle is.
I mean, like
a little shaky.
Like we totally discombobulated.
Discombobulated all over the place. Yep.
I'm fickle.
I don't know what that is. So what I told
what is fickle?
What I told Nate was I'm stressed. I said I'm stressed the fuck out. He said, "You stressed out?" Because for me to be stressed out. A whole different story. Anyway, we about to get out of here, y'all.
Okay.
This is a great conversation.
Was that it? I mean,
that'll do it.
That'll do it.
I mean, it's time. It's just
It is time.
I was just about
the
to
time.
edit, so it's time.
Yeah, it's time. Hey, y'all, we're about to get out of here. Thank y'all for watching the Rise and Grind Morning Show. And some things happened, and just like y'all didn't know what was happening behind the scenes, things was happening, but we kept it going. And that's what life is about. We gotta keep going.
Did we keep it going?
Hell yeah, until you like, Shandy Miles, where are you?
Well,
you said that?
Yeah. You gotta explain things to people. I am so tired of people assuming that other people are supposed to read their minds. And it only takes words to express yourself and say, hey, this is what's going on with me, so you can understand the situation. You can write a message in a bottle. You can put keep going, toot toot toot.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I thought before I left, I was like,
no, we got that part.
I'm an empath, so I understood how this goes.
He took off his headphones.
Look, and then I'm like,
no, he was following your lead.
Oh, look, I'm up here like, did I not?
Forehead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but when you was talking about me, I ain't gonna say that now.
She was trying to be serious.
Anywho.
Great talent.
At the end of the day, I think people need to stop cheating on their significant others and make sure if you're going to continue relationships with people that you know their mental state.
Yes.
And stay tuned for my book that's coming out next year, because it's going to talk a lot about people and their mental illness and their willingness to keep getting into relationships knowing that they're not stable and ready for commitment. I don't understand that.
I don't think people know that they're not ready. I just think
you know.
No.
you definitely know. You just try to
Dorian
see.
Like he doesn't agree with
you
that.
You just try to see anyway.
People don't know.
So maybe we need to bring that back as a topic. And Dorian,
do you know if you're ready for a relationship?
No.
Are you mentally ready for a relationship?
No.
Emotionally.
Now, I guarantee you, if I say, "Are you ready for marriage?" People are no. Exactly. So guess what? It's the same goddamn thing.
It's not, because I got to start with a relationship before I marry you.
Now God, we can get off, because I've had so many men tell me it's different for them to be in a relationship than having a woman that's their wife.
It is. Like, you have a lot more responsibility,
no,
and I'm like
commitment.
And you've made an actual.
Actually, you had almost the exact same goddamn responsibility.
But you don't go before God and make that commitment. That's the difference between a marriage and a relationship.
You're married when you sign the paper. You're not married when you stand up in front of God. So
well, that all happens in the same day.
It does not.
No, it does.
You got to get your marriage.
Sign the paper.
You got to get your marriage license before your wedding.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do they sign at the wedding?
They don't sign nothing.
They signed a second portion of it, what their new legal name
is.
But
so that's what they're signing. I know they signed papers. I never did this before.
People witness it and everything, but you've already applied for the license.
Okay, so when they go into this office and it's just them, they are only signing to say, "Hey, I'm changing my name over." So what is the
name
first?
has already been changed.
And that's what I'm saying. So what are they signing?
Now, I've been through the process. What you do is you go down to the county building, wherever county you're going to be residing in or where you're going to get married at.
Okay.
Mostly where you're going to get married at. You don't have to care where you reside. You go down to the county building. They have you sign. You have to bring, I think, your birth certificate,
ID,
and this is prior to the wedding.
And this is prior before you even say I do. You go and you fill out a paperwork. It's not about changing your name. It's just basically, it's like basically legally making a business.
Right.
Because to me, that is what. Mind you, now you have to renew what often licenses we have to renew.
Everything but
a marriage license. And guess what? You could start a business and never have to update the license.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Right? So it's technically,
things may change.
And then there's the legal ramifications from there's pluses in being married. Tons.
So what did you sign at your wedding?
When you go to the back, don't you?
I didn't sign anything at my wedding.
So what are these people having to pen and paper?
Listen, you know who was signing the stuff? My parents and her parents, because they were the witnesses.
But I've had, as a photographer, I've seen the married couple sign something. I thought that the woman is signing her new legal married name.
Yeah, she can do that right then and there.
That's what I was saying.
What are you all signing?
They're signing the license that had been filed.
Right.
But so it just came in. So it came in the day of the wedding.
Bingo.
The clergy can hold on to it for a week. The clergy brings it to you.
Okay, and that's what you. Okay.
But you could not have a ceremony and still go sign that.
I have been a part of people's weddings, and they got a whole family, and somehow everyone missed the witness signing. I had to sign it, and then they had to come back. They was like, "Damn, we didn't want you to sign it," but I'm like, "Shit, hell was there."
Yeah, but it's right, but it's on there.
You just have to have witnesses that you guys did
that.
But you can have a witness. You can have a witness without the ceremony.
And it also depends on what religion you're in.
Absolutely. I've been a part of Jewish weddings.
This is why I feel like I'm not ready for marriage. It's just like it's a lot.
Why not?
We do have to go.
I'm ready for a relationship, but a marriage is different. But yes.
No, it's not. It's no different than a relationship.
It's not. It really
I just want to
is.
start there first.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, before you go, why don't you go to designcore.org? They have a Drinks by Design on this Thursday. It's a really cool networking event, and we'll talk about more things to do next week.
Hell yeah.
Yes. You know what?
That's right. There's things to do. Hey, y'all.
Pachum.
We getting out here. Bye, y'all.
Peace be unto you.
Bye, y'all.
Peace. Bye. What you waving for? You don't got a camera.
Look.
Peace.